YouTubers, it's your girl Shannon from Tesla and Chill, and today we have a really cool video, and I think it should be really informative also. Today we are going to be testing the wind noise that comes in outside the car and the road noise. I'm really excited about this. I think this is going to be a really cool test that we're going to do. But before we get started, take a second and go ahead, subscribe to our channel, like this video if you want to see more that are like these. But let's continue and let's get to our conversation for today. Now, as you guys know, I love Teslas. We have done the factory tour. I have driven the Model 3, the Model X, the Model S. I'm hoping to drive the Model Y at some point. We have the t-shirts, the coffee mugs. I love everything Tesla stands for. Elon has an awesome vision for our future. But I do have a few things that I don't like about the Tesla, and probably the biggest one of those is the wind and road noise that comes in the car when we're driving. You probably hear it right now. We're driving on the interstate. I don't know how it's translating in the video, but it's already super distracting to me. And it's something I didn't really think would be a factor when you buy a $65,000 car. I think it wasn't even something that I considered, just the car being noisy. And I don't know if it's maybe because there's no engine, so there's not really something to drown out the extra noise, or maybe it's because there's so much glass in the car. I mean, look here at the ceiling, it's all glass. And as cool as that is, I don't know if that could be a factor. Maybe it's the tires. I know Tesla has specific tires that have foam in them to kind of absorb noise and help dampen that sound. But it could be a few factors. Maybe the roads are just really old. I know they have thousands of drivers that drive on the interstate every day. The roads do get pretty beat up. There's potholes. It could just be all of those factors combined. But when I compare this car to my car that's like $35,000, a car that's pretty much half the price, I think my Honda is a whole lot quieter. And maybe it's because the Honda has an engine that drowns it out. Maybe it is just a smoother ride. I mean, the Tesla does have a sportier suspension, so maybe that could be a factor too. I don't know, but to me it sounds like the Tesla is louder than my Honda. But even though it sounds like it, we are going to try to break down the numbers in the most scientific way as possible. So this is my plan. I have downloaded the Decibel Meter app on my phone, and I'm going to do a comparison of city driving versus highway driving. So I'm going to go the same speed on the city road, and I'm going to go the same speed on the highway road, and we are going to record what decibels those noises get up to, and we're going to have a direct comparison, see which one is quieter, a Tesla Model 3 or a Honda Accord Hybrid. Now I'm going to set cruise control, I'm going to turn off the radio, I'm going to turn off all the air, I'm going to try to keep the conditions the same in each vehicle so we can get a really, really good comparison. Now I'm excited to get started on this, so let's go. Hey guys, we are now in our Honda Accord Hybrid. We are going to start our test right now. So I'm going to turn the radio all the way down, make sure that's off. I'm also going to turn down our air. You see I have it set to 69 because I'm a little immature, but that is off now. So I'm going to go at 35 miles per hour. I'm going to set the cruise control. We have our Decibel Meter app up and running, so we're going to have that on as well. Now I'm going to stop talking so we can get an accurate read, and once we finish the city driving, we'll hop on the highway. Alright, so I think I just kind of glanced over. I saw a few spikes here and there, but I think it stayed in the low 60s, but we'll have a final review of that at the end. Now I'm going to pick up speed. We are going to get on the highway. I'm going to try to maintain the speed between 60 to 65 miles per hour, and I'm going to be really quiet again. It's hard for me to stay so quiet, but I'm trying really hard so we can get the most accurate scientific reading we can. Now, I'm going to stop talking and we'll pick up speed. driving portion. Now, I didn't really look too much at the Decibel Meter app because I am driving and we don't have autopilot in the Honda, so I'm trying to maintain contact with the road at all times. But overall, to me, it sounded really, really quiet in here. Maybe it was because the engine was drowning out some of the noise. Maybe it's because there's less glass here. Now, even though the Honda does have a moonroof, it does have this cover here, and maybe that helps in buffering some of the noise out. I think there was definitely a noticeable difference when I transitioned from the old interstate road to the new repaved road. I think there was definitely a drop in decibels there. Now we are gonna run home. We are gonna grab the Tesla so we can do the same exact test, and we'll check in with you in just a minute. Well, we just got in the Model 3 and we're about to start this test. We are going to do the same parameters we just did in the Honda. We are going to keep the car at about 35 miles per hour. I'm going to use the cruise control so we have it exact for our city driving, and then we'll bump it up once we get on the highway. Now, I already have the radio off and I'm going to turn the air off as well. You can see again I have it set to my favorite number, 69. But I'm going to stop talking now so we can get the most accurate reading, and I'm going to turn on the cruise control. Well, I think that stayed pretty consistent around maybe 63, 64 decibels, but we're going to start accelerating now so we can get on the highway. We're going to keep the car between 60 and 65 on the highway, so we'll try to get a more accurate reading while we're there, but I'm going to stop talking again so we can watch the numbers. So you guys saw as we were accelerating onto the interstate, and once we started driving, we kept the car between 60 to about 65 miles per hour. And the decibel meter was reading pretty consistently around 72 to 73. Yes, there were some spikes and some drops, but overall I think it stayed about that average. Now the really cool part for me was when we got on the repaved section of I-5, the decibels dropped drastically. I think it was about 66 decibels, so that was really cool. But I think for me, it just sounds loud. The Tesla just sounds louder than the Honda. And I think that could be for a few reasons. It could be because the suspension is sportier. It could be because there's so much glass in here. Maybe it's just noisier. It could be just the lack of engine. Maybe the Honda's just drowning out some noises that I pick up here in the Tesla. But overall, we are going to take a look at the numbers so we can get the facts. But overall, the Tesla definitely just sounds louder to me. Alright peeps, we are going to summarize our results for the two tests that we just did, which were actually really surprising to me. Now, when we were driving the Honda, in the city driving, we got about 62 decibels. That was about the average. Of course, there were highs and lows for everything, but these are going to be the averages we're going to go over. Now, when we were doing the interstate driving in the Honda, that reached an average of about 73. And then when we got on the newly paved roads, it dropped down to about 65. So I really prefer driving on the repaved road. Honestly, I think my problem would be solved if we could just repave every road in America. But I don't think that's really a feasible solution here. But I thought those numbers were really interesting because when we compare them to the Tesla, now the Tesla had a city driving average of about 63 decibels, so really just one higher than the Honda. Now when we got on the interstate, that jumped up to about an average of 74 decibels, and when we got on the repaved road, then it dropped down to about 66 decibels. So really, looking at the actual numbers on the Decibel Meter app, the Tesla was really above the Honda about 1 decibel in every category here. Now the human ear can't really detect 1 decibel of a difference. I think usually it's around a 10 decibel difference. That's when the human ear starts to detect changes. But I really feel like the Tesla is louder than the Honda. And I don't know if maybe it's because maybe human ears are picking up different tones than what's going on in the phone or the other meters that are reading it. But I really do think that there's an actual difference. And I don't know how it translated to you guys over the camera, but for me, it's very obvious and it's definitely there. So I am going to try to take some steps here to see if we can maybe reduce the noise that's going on. I do have another thing that I'm going to be installing. It's another DIY job. I have some weather stripping that's going to go along the door frames here. Hopefully that'll reduce the noise even more. And we'll have a follow-up video, so stay tuned for that one. It's coming out soon. Now, until we talk again, this is going to wrap up this video, and we'll catch you next time.